All right, this question is going to be a little longer. So we're going to be looking at this whole page to give us the information that we need to solve for AV, which was indicated by the bottom here. All right, so what is AV exactly? AV is the area needed for protection from explosions. That's how big the vent has to be in feet squared to protect yourself from an explosion and make sure the building you're in does not succumb to damage. The equation that we need is AV equals CAS over the square root of P red. All right, and what exactly are those? As I already said, the AV is the area needed to protect from the vent explosion. That's how big the vent has to be so that the explosion can be ventilated properly. C is the venting parameter. It's not in a specific unit, but it's whatever the question says it is. AS is the enclosure surface area, the full surface area of the roof, the floor, and all the walls in the room. P red is maximum pressure in PSI. Make sure it's in PSI, and if one of these indicates it has to be in a certain type of unit, make sure you change it into that unit so that you actually get the right answer. All right, this second blurb usually tells you every single thing you need to know to solve the question. All right, so we have to skim through it. We don't have to, I would recommend reading through the whole thing, but if you can just isolate what you need from up here, you can just find out what numbers you need to put into the equation, not have to waste as much time. All right, so first of all, we look at the first one. So it says the venting parameter is 0.15. That means that the venting parameter is C, so C is 0.15, which I have written on the other side right here. Next, we're going to be looking at the maximum pressure in PSI is 16. So as we know, the P red is the PSI maximum pressure. So the P red is 16. The last portion is the hardest portion. It's the cylinder-shaped enclosure. That means the enclosure is cylinder-shaped, so we have to find the surface area of a cylinder. Has the height of 15 and the radius of 5. That means the height of the cylinder is 15 and the radius around the circle is 5. And the question asks that we have to round to 2 decimal places and we have to convert it to the proper unit, which is feet squared. All right, time for the actual math portion of this. All right, so now that we have our equation fully decked out, we just have to solve for AS, which is the area of the cylinder, which is 2 pi times RH plus 2 pi times R squared. With R is radius, H is height, so we just put in our numbers. So we have 2 pi times 5 times 15 plus 2 pi times 5 to the power of 2. And if you put that in your calculator, you get 628.3185307. I don't recommend rounding it because you won't get the more numbers you have in the decimal, the more accurate you will be. I recommend at least 3 decimal places into whatever you do. Do not round. I don't recommend. It will change your answer even more. So just keep it the same and keep going with it. Again, I recommend 3 decimal places, but the more numbers you put will be more accurate. So next, we just put this number into our equation, and then I usually just go top and bottom. So I first multiply 0.15 to my other number, then that gives us 19.247777961 over 4, because that's what the square root of 16 is. And then once we divide that, we get 23.5619449. And since we need 2 decimal places, we look at the second decimal place, see it's a 1 that's next to it, so we don't have to round it up, round up at all. So it's just, the answer is 23.56 feet squared.